The reason we're gathered here today is to recognize some true heroes that did a very brave and heroic thing in our community Thursday afternoon, this past Thursday. So I'd like to introduce everybody to, this is Jennifer Burlingame and her daughter Maria. They are from Michigan. They're visiting our community this weekend for Country Thunder. Like I said, they live in Michigan. They're here just for a few days, and then they go back home. So usually when something like this happens, we would make a more formal recognition, but since they're only here for a couple of days, we really wanted to make sure we did so, but we kind of had to do it at last minute. So this past Thursday, Jennifer and some of her family were out on Lake Mary in Twin Lakes here, just enjoying a sunny, nice afternoon on the lake. They had a pontoon boat. Out in the horizon, they happened to see a couple of people in the water that had capsized out of kayaks, and they were obviously in distress. And Jennifer immediately, as quickly as they could, they made their way over to where these two individuals were in the lake. When they got there, they saw that it was even more serious than what it looked like, that one of the victims in the lake was not responsive. Jennifer and her 12-year-old daughter, then when they got close enough, they got into the lake, jumped into the lake, went over to the victim, supported her, held her above water, and then eventually brought her over to their pontoon boat, where they were able to, as more people were arriving, they were able to get the victim up onto the pontoon boat. The victim was not responsive. Jennifer immediately began life-saving efforts. Some of our off-duty rescue personnel were thankfully nearby, and they then responded and assisted in getting the victim on or into the boat over to the shore. They then drove the boat over to Lance Park, where rescue personnel and police were on the scene waiting for their arrival. Being on the scene myself, I can tell you that when they arrived, it did not look like a good situation for the victim. She was in very poor condition. Our rescue personnel took over. They immediately went into action, took the victim, got her loaded into an ambulance, began their life-saving efforts, and then got her up to Burlington Hospital. We got word later on in the day that the victim had recovered and was doing quite well. The following morning, Friday morning, Captain Hall called the victim's residence to see if they could get an update. Surprisingly, the victim answered the phone. So she was released that night from the hospital. She was expected to recover fully. She did want to be here today, but unfortunately she's not feeling very well yet. She's still recovering, but she is expected to make a full recovery. So she wanted to express thanks to you two as well, but we really wanted to do this today and recognize that we have two true heroes here. If it wasn't for the actions of Jennifer and 12-year-old Maria, this probably would have been a much different outcome, and it would have been a tragedy in our community. So we'd like to thank them for their efforts. We have a little bit of a token of recognition here. This is a recognition for your selfless and courageous acts on July 15th. And here's one for Maria. There you go, Maria. Maria especially, I hope you take this home. You can show your friends. Be proud of what you did. You're a true hero. So we really appreciate it. So round of applause. I'll let Fire Chief Wallace make a couple comments as well.
You guys both did a very good job. It's something that doesn't happen every day. This helps you in life to realize that there are helpful people out there. You guys did a wonderful job doing that. We really appreciate that. You made our job a lot easier. Everybody here, it takes a big team, and you guys are part of the team that day.
And we hope you come back to Twin Lakes often. Thank you. We hope you enjoy your Country Thunder weekend.
Thank you so much. No, I just love to you. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, just one second. I'll let you see if they want.
Hi. Are you husband? Okay, nice to meet you.
What is that?
You're just
I turned to center, 100, 200, and 100. Yeah, just
Hi
like
again. I guess I would say the biggest thing is CPR is important to know, right? Water safety. I think that's one of the biggest things we learned to taught my kids. They wear your life jackets and we're gonna do it.
Always realize.
Yeah, know what to do. Best outcome possible.
Right?
Thank God. Thank you. Me too. I took a little bit of recovery from that. It's not easy, but we did it. With the help of our wonderful nanny that was with us. She's a kayaker and she knew that she was in distress, so we're grateful to her. And my boys were also on the boat and they stayed calm. And just everybody that was out there was helpful.
Obviously, there's that point where you just know something's wrong. Like, what was your first thought?
Yeah, so our nanny noticed, she's a kayaker, and she noticed that there was somebody in the water that appeared to be struggling to get back in the kayak, and that is very exhausting. So she assumed she was fatiguing out and just thought we would go over and help her get on the pontoon and get in the kayak. When we headed back that way, we noticed that she was floating in the water, completely unresponsive, submerged, and close to going under. So we got there in time. Maria was the first to jump in as I was navigating the boat over to her and lifted her head out of the water. Then I was able to get in. We swam her to the back of the boat, got her up on the back of the pontoon with Terry's assistance, and then I initiated CPR right away. She was unresponsive.
CPR, like, how soon you got that certification and stuff?
Yeah, I'm actually a family physician, so it's kind of my job.
Wow.
Yeah. So I learned that, in basic training, and luckily, I mean, it's something that everybody can learn though, and it's something I'm going to definitely enroll my children in classes when we get back.
So what was your daughter's role?